Welcome to my channel IITJ Olympiad and AP Physics with Ambarish. And today in INPHO 2019 series, I'm solving problem number 5, which is also the final problem in the series. I've already posted the solution to problem 6 and 7, and with this problem, the series gets completed. And I've also uploaded the solutions to INPHO 2020, so you can watch the playlist if you're interested. So let's look at problem number 5. So what's the problem? A pair of long parallel metallic rails of negligible resistance and separation W are placed horizontally. A horizontal metal rod, which is a dark thick line of mass capital M and resistance capital R, is placed perpendicularly onto the rails at one end like this. As shown, a uniform magnetic field B exists perpendicular to the plane of the paper pointing into the page. One end of the rail track is connected to a key K and a capacitor of capacitance C charged to a voltage V0. At t equal to 0, the key is closed. Neglect friction and self-inductance of the loop. So this is the physical situation. Question will be appearing on the next slide. Now if you look at this problem, this is a pretty standard problem that in fact most of the coaching institute materials have something similar. Sometimes they connect an inductor with a rail, sometimes they connect a resistor with a rail, sometimes they give a battery. So this is a pretty standard configuration, and I take this type of problems generally as part of my teaching, and almost I believe all good teachers take such problems, and you might find such problems in Erodov also, the slider problem, and it's not a very difficult problem. So again, as I told you in the previous videos, INPHO problems are not necessarily very difficult. Sometimes you just have to apply the concept and slog through it. Okay, so another very easy problem. And we are asked later on the next slide, I'll show you the question. We'll be asked to find the final velocity of the rod. So let's see. If you want, you can try it out, the final velocity. So what's the question? Let's see. So the question is, what is the final speed V final attained by the rod? So what's going to happen? The capacitor is going to get discharged through this rail, and as there is a current through this rail, there will be ILB, you know that force is ILB, so length you can put as W over here. So there will be a force, okay, and that force is going to accelerate this rod will be accelerated because of the magnetic force, all right, and in the process the capacitor will be getting discharged. So as the capacitor is getting discharged, the rail is gaining more and more velocity. Okay, and then we have to find out what's the final velocity attained. So let's look at the differential equations, how to solve this problem. So at t equal to 0, q naught is cv naught because it's charged to potential of v naught, and as the charge is decreasing, you know that the current is flowing like this. So dq by dt is a negative quantity, right, and this current is a positive thing in this direction. So we can say that current is minus q dot, or you can say that q dot is minus I. Okay, so that's one. What else can we say? Now F equal to ma equation we can use. So I told you the magnetic force is ILB, so length is W, so we can say IWB is the magnetic force, that should be equal to mass times acceleration. So m dv by dt, or instead of d by dt I'm using dot notation, so mv dot is same as m dv by dt is IWB, which is also, we can say I can be written as q dot minus q dot, right? So minus q dot WB, so that is your mass times acceleration. Okay, so this is the force equation. All right, now what else can we say? So now applying Kirchhoff law to this loop. Well, let's apply Kirchhoff law to this loop. What do we get? So Q by C is the potential difference across this. This should be equal to this potential drop, that is IR, and plus the motional EMF. There's also going to be a motional EMF in this, right? So BLV, you know that motional EMF is BLV, so L is W over here, so BWV is the motional EMF. So just applying Kirchhoff law, we can say that Q by C is equal to IR plus BWV. Okay, and if you differentiate this equation, or rather in fact I can be written as minus q dot, so just substitute minus q dot over here, so you get minus q dot R plus BWV is Q by C, and now you differentiate Q by C and minus Q dot R plus BWV. So you take one more derivative with respect to time, so Q by C becomes Q dot by C, and this becomes minus Q double dot R, and this becomes BWV dot. And what can I do with V dot? So V dot, I have this differential equation, so V dot can be written as IWB upon M. So that's what I've put over here. So if you put instead of V dot, you put BWI by M, and I can be written as minus q dot. Okay, so that's what I've done. So then you get this differential equation. So you get you just look at this term, q dot by c is equal to minus q double dot r minus b omega b square w square q dot by m. And now what I can do, I can take q dot to this side and I can rearrange the differential equation. So what do I get? Just keep q double dot on the left hand side and all other terms on the right hand side. So this equation, q dot by c is equal to this term on the right. If you rearrange this, this comes to q double dot is equal to minus q dot 1 by rc plus b square w square upon mr. Okay, so now I can just, instead of handling this nasty term, I can just put it as tau, because it's dimensions of time 1 upon rc, so has the dimensions of tau, so I can just put it as 1 by tau. Okay, so where 1 by tau is 1 by rc plus b square w square by mr. And now this is a differential equation in q dot. So this is q double dot is dq dot by dt, and it is minus q dot by tau. So what you can take, so dq dot by q dot is equal to, you can put dt over here and integrate the differential equation, and you can see that dq dot upon q dot, when you integrate, that will become log of q dot, right? And initial charge is q naught, initial current is q naught dot, you can say. So q naught dot, the initial current is nothing but v naught by r, right? So instead of q dot naught, you can put minus v naught by r, and by integrating the appropriate limits, you get log of q dot divided by q dot naught. This is the t equal to 0 q dot, or current at t equal to 0 is minus t by tau. So that gives you finally current as a function of time, that comes as in fact current is negative of this, so q dot as a function of time comes to be minus v naught by r e to the power minus t by tau. So this is nothing but current at t equal to 0. So v naught by r is the current, or rather minus v naught by r. Okay, so we have now current as a function of time. So now once I have current as a function of time, I can put it in this differential equation. mv dot is minus q dot wb, and then solve for v by putting v dot as dv by dt. So what do I get? So I can say that mv dot is equal to minus q dot wb. So q dot is over here. So q dot into w into b we have done. Okay. So what do we get from there? So if you integrate, so v dot is nothing but okay, so mv dot is this, so m dv and dt you take to the other side, so that's what you will get. Okay, so if you this is the integration that you get, and the capacitor will get discharged up till time t equal to infinity, because you know that this exponential term is going to go to 0 only at t equal to infinity. So you just integrate this, and then you get the value of the final velocity, and if you integrate, the final velocity comes out to be bw cv naught upon m plus b square omega square c. So fairly simple problem, direct application of the differential equation to the it's a sort of RC circuit along with electromagnetic induction. So pretty simple problem, standard kind of problem. We got solution by just solving, making the differential equations f equal to ma and the Kirchhoff law. Okay, so this was part A. Now what about the next part? So next part is, consider the ratio R of the maximum kinetic energy attained by the rod to the energy initially stored in the capacitor. What is the R max, the maximum possible value of R, by appropriately choosing B. So now let me show you the velocity that we had found. Just try to keep this expression in mind. I'll be using this again, bw cv naught upon m plus b square omega w square c. So this was the final velocity that we got. So now in this part we have to find the ratio of maximum kinetic energy to the initial energy stored in the capacitor. You know that some part is going to get dissipated and some part is going to get in as kinetic energy of the rod, and I want to know what is the maximum possible ratio between the maximum kinetic energy and the initial stored energy of the capacitor. Okay, so now you know that kinetic energy is half mv square, and and the stored energy in capacitor is half cv naught square. So we just take the ratio, velocity we found in previous part, and now ratio of final ke to the capacitor energy is half mv square. So we have used directly from the previous part, and half cv naught square. If you take the ratio, simplify this whole square, this comes out to be b square c mw square upon m plus b square c w square whole square. Now from this you can take an m square common, so there is m at the top and there is an m square at the bottom, so that gives you b square c w square upon m. 1m is left at the bottom, 1m cancels, and inside you get 1 plus b square c w square upon m whole square. So if you just put b square w square c by m as x, so this expression is nothing but x upon 1 plus x whole square. Okay, and now you have to minimize this. Okay, So you can minimize this, you can differentiate this expression with respect to x to get the minimum possible value of r. So you can just do dr by dx equal to 0, dr by dx equal to 0, and if you solve that, you get the minimum value of r comes out to be 1 by 4, and that comes when x is 1. So that means r max, maximum possible convertible energy into kinetic energy of the rod is 1/4. Okay, and that happens when x is 1, or we can say b square w square c by m is 1. Okay, so that completes the solution to part B. All right. Then in the next part, we are just supposed to numerically evaluate our expressions that we have found in part B. What does it say? Let m equal to 10 kg, w is equal to 0.1 meter, and v naught is equal to 1 into 10 to the power 4 volt, and a bank of capacitors ensures that c is equal to 1 farad. Okay, they've deliberately written bank of capacitors because 1 farad is a huge capacitance. You cannot simply get 1 farad capacitor by a single capacitor, so somehow they've arranged 1 farad capacitor. Okay, and if r is equal to r max, calculate the value of v final. So we calculated that r max is 1/4, and corresponding value of x we had found equal to 1, and we now need to find the corresponding value of v final for r equal to r max. So as found in previous part for r max, so b square w square c by m was coming out to be 1. This was our x was 1, and you just plug in the values and solve for b. So using this, if you solve for b, you get b is equal to 31.6 Tesla, and once I have the value of b, I can easily calculate the value of v max. Okay, so v max, we found the expression for v final was bwc naught upon m plus b square w square c. This was found in part A. Now you just substitute b is equal to 31.6 Tesla in this, and all other values that are given over here you just put in there, and if you solve, v max comes out to be 1.58 into 10 to the power 3 meter per second. So that's our answer to the C part of the question, and which is also the final part of the question, and that brings us to the end of this solution. And if you like the solution, please do subscribe to my channel if you have not already subscribed, and please share this video as much as possible with the students who are aspiring for IIT JEE Advanced or Olympiads. Please share it as much as possible, and please do give it a thumbs up. And thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my YouTube channel. That's all for this video, and see you in the next one.